to tell you whatever I'm thinking. I think the Revens used to do this or something, so I don't know, it must work. But thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate it. All the opportunities you've hooked me up with. This has been quite a good one. I'm looking at my brother here. I'm surprised he came. I had no clue, but he's got this huge scratch on his forehead, like really bad scar. And wrestling just makes you do some crazy things sometimes. Like, I think it was Christmas Eve this year, and we were just kind of verbally brawling a little bit. And he like came at me, and I just accidentally snapped him into the granite countertop. So at midnight, when it was Christmas, I was at the emergency room watching him get like 13 stitches in his head. So thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Anthony started coaching me at 22. He still looks the exact same. I think he looked the same when he was like 12. But actually, if you go on YouTube and you put his name in, it comes up as this crazy video. I think he's 12, right? At the time, 12. You know what I'm talking about, Anthony. And he's in a church. And he's like squatting 800 pounds. It's crazy. It's really impressive, though. He's 49 world records. So, thank you, Anthony. Appreciate it. Coaches-wise, Josh. Wow. So, when I first met Josh, we were in the car. And we were going to this retreat. And I think this just describes, like, Josh's thinking process well. And we were, like, listening to a podcast or something. And, like, they were talking about the debate with the presidential debate. It was just happening. It was, like, 215, 216. And I was like, Josh, what are you thinking, man? And he was like, well, you know, Hillary, like, we'll kind of know what we're getting. She's been office for a while. But Trump, you just have no clue. We could go to war. And so, like, that was his first thought. And then the second thought, he was like, there could be a draft. And I was like, okay. And then he was like, if there's a draft, they're going to take all our best wrestlers. And I was like, yeah, this guy really likes wrestling. Wow. But anyway, if you didn't know, Josh was, I think, the top recruit in all of high school, like, back in the day. So I found that out later, and that's when I started listening to him a little bit more. I was like, wow, this guy was pretty good. But Zach, so Zach, lots going on with Zach, but I'm pretty good with imitations. Like Joey, I used to imitate all the time. He doesn't sound like that anymore. But I've done a lot of imitations, and Zach, you can't imitate because all he does is imitate you. So I was just doing imitations of myself, you know, so it just doesn't work. But Zach's just always been there for me. It's really hard to bring up like a funny thing he does because the guy's just like, he just knows what he's doing all the time, and it's just like you get exactly what you need plus more. And Zach's always been there for me when I would get really nervous and I really need to calm down. So Zach and I came up with this strategy where we would just talk about anything but wrestling up until I stepped on the line. So we had some really weird conversations I don't want to talk about in front of everyone, but they really helped me. So that's when I really jumped another level. So Zach, really appreciate it, man. Looking forward to your bachelor party. It's going to be a lot of fun. Joe's just a really well-groomed guy. It's the same thing. He like can't do anything, like he can't say anything that he does that's like really funny unless he's talking about it as a joke because like the guy's just had the top education everywhere in the world, Ivy League, a doctorate now, lives his life exactly the way you want to. So nothing really funny here, Joe, but I really appreciate everything you've done for me. I mean, I'm really looking forward to hearing about your guys' wedding and seeing it on Facebook, I guess, because I don't think I'm invited, but he just gets it done. Like, the guy just got engaged, and he's already got the wedding set up for, like, a couple months from now. Usually, like, you hear about people, and they're like, oh, this is my fiance, and you're like, how long ago did you get engaged? You're like, 5 years ago. And it's like, when's it gonna happen? But, like, he just gets it done right away. And I have a lot to say about it as a leader. I would say, like, when he was trying to talk me into coming over to Drexel, we were sitting in my dining room. I was a junior, and we had sandwiches, and Zach ate his sandwich in like 2 seconds and was kind of just sitting there like that. He didn't know what to do with his hands. And, you know, Coach didn't eat anything because he was talking the whole time. But I remember I was so excited because I never really thought I was going to be able to make a Division I level like back in the day. And he like took a bite of his sandwich, and then I asked to go to the bathroom, and then I tweeted, a US Open champ just ate a sandwich in my time. And I got like a ton of retweets, it was crazy. But I think like the two things that Coach Hesveda really did for me that has turned me into the great person I am today are, the one would be after freshman year, I just had no clue what was going on in my brain, because I'm definitely not normal. And I was wondering what was going on, and Coach said he had this like psychology book, and I didn't really read a book since like 8th grade maybe. I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And I started reading this thing, and it was amazing. It was the first sports psychology book ever written, and I saw like in it he wrote 2008 US Open champion, and then obviously he got that done. It was like a huge life-changing experience reading this, and then it went on. I just ended up going on to read like a book a week or like 2 a week for like the rest of the year. So I think I finished 30 books that year. It was like really, I feel like I'm getting emotional or something. It was awesome. Like it was really helpful, and thank you, Coach. The second one was I was redshirting. Awesome. Like it was really helpful, and thank you, Coach. The second one was I was redshirting, and I had a little bit of time, and he mentioned that there was this alumni that would, yeah, I'm getting kind of emotional. Anyway, there was an alumni that had like, his kid was just starting, and he like needed somebody that had their crap together, and like Coach picked me, which was kind of surprising. Nah, I don't know. But anyway, I went in and met this guy. I thought he was like a house flipper, and it ends up he like owns this really big company, and really cool guy. He's one of my best friends now, and got me this job. I didn't tell you, but next month he's starting me at NYU. So a lot of good gigs. I got a lot of opportunities from Coach. I got a couple of Division I coaching offers this year. It was really cool. So appreciate it, Coach. Thank you. Yeah, give it a clap. This guy's awesome. Having the #1 GPA in the nation, I'm also talking about it. It's pretty amazing, and I really wasn't that surprised though when I heard it, because I think like as humans we always compare everything to an average. Like if you were like, oh, I got a 7% return on my stock this year, like, well, what was the market, or like anything in general, like, oh, he had this many wins this year, good, well, like what generally how many wins did everyone else have on the team? It, just naturally as humans you're always comparing yourself to an average. And I think that's really the main thing of why I've always liked being on a wrestling team, especially Drexel, and that's really why I wanted to come here. And the average for just like the coaching staff and like where they hold you is just awesome. And like over the years, it's like if you just want to be an average guy on this team, like you have to get good grades, you have to be doing at least one extra workout every week. You just gotta be on top of it and everything. And I think just the average in general is just so high. The standard is so high, and that's really, you're gonna grab it. That's what's really cool. And then I definitely wrote down like a word or two on my phone, so just make sure I didn't forget anything. No, that's about it. I guess the other thing I learned was just how important decisions are, like the small decisions, everyday decisions. And I got that from like reading the books with Coach and just watching these guys and talking. Like Josh is always talking about like Manly and Brooks, when they played dodgeball, they used to like always like go into the corner here, and like Manly would get hit, and then he would like do a little wall and like block Brooks, and like it was just very passive. I remember Josh came up to him, he was like, Manly, is that the way you want your wrestling to look? And it was just so cool, because it's just like the way you live your life, and it's those little decisions you make. And I think like if you those little decisions. But I think what's really cool is like if you watch a movie and like there's like a time machine and you go back in time, and you're so careful in that movie not to change anything, even the smallest little thing. And if you do change something, it's because you want the future to be different. And it's like just a small decision. And it's like we don't live like that in present day. We don't really we're not that careful about our little decisions we make. But if you see in a movie in the time machine, it's like every little decision matters. And I think that's what's really cool here at Drexel. We just take a lot of pride in like making sure everything is like done right, and you're thinking ahead, you're a long-term thinker. And now that's the byproduct of the team, and it's really cool to see. So anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. My body really hurts now after all these years, so looking forward to resting a little bit. But anyway, appreciate everybody, and thank you for these 5 years. It's been a lot of fun. Woo!